PhD. One day you will write books. One day commercials. One day the impossible, you will laugh at the impossible. You will look at the impossible and go, what was I thinking?
Good evening, my spoiler alert friends. Thank you guys for joining me. So first I want you guys to be aware. Bear with me. You'll probably be able to see it on the timestamp at the end, but this might end up being a longer video just because there's so much to unpack. So I finished watching episode 130, 131, and 132 of My Hero Academia Season 6. Oh my goodness. There was a ton going on. So episode 130, the setting, they're in the hospital, and Endeavor is still beat up, still trying to recover, and his ex-wife, whatever, I don't know, because there never was an actual divorce that I saw. But she came to meet him in the hospital, and she came with all the children except for Dobby, and they were just kind of just deep diving into their history and how did it come to this, what happened, and why is Dobby the way he is, and what are you going to do next? Are you prepared? Because you need to be prepared to fight your son. That's just the real. You're going to have to fight him. And going through all of that, going through their history, they had a lot of bad in their history. There was a lot of physical, emotional abuse, from Endeavor to his wife, then his wife to their children, then their children back to Endeavor, and there's just a vicious cycle. All in the efforts to create a child that could one day beat All Might. It's a ridiculous goal, and just sad to see that that's the path they took. I still even like when watching through, I'm like, again, you know, different things can express themselves differently on genes, and people are individuals, and it's not going to be the same for everyone. But I just don't see how it got to this point with Dobby. Like, it's almost like he's in a delusion. It's like a fixed false belief. He continues to perpetuate this thought that he was abandoned in this forest and nobody cared and nobody came to rescue him. And it was like, yeah, they thought you were dead, bro. You couldn't control your quirk. Now granted, they 100% could have went and at least looked for a body. You know what I mean? But they didn't. And because of that, Dobby was already teetering on the edge. He was unstable just because of his desire to please his dad. He was like, I want to become the thing that you wanted me to be. And when he kept getting the news that his body couldn't handle it, he couldn't handle that news. So it was just intense, you know, and it's like, dang, I think it's representative to how people can really be in real life. And it's like, you know, you want people to get the help that they need, and he needs it for sure. I don't know how the situation is going to end up going with Endeavor and him and them fighting, or what's going to happen, and the whole Todoroki family. But I'm curious to see what does come about and how they play it all in and how they play it out. So then we go on to 131. Episode 131 was that one had a ton too. I mean, it was like, okay, first he's in this dream world talking to his past users, and that was super cool. It was reminiscent of, and this is a spoiler alert to all those people who haven't watched Naruto. It was reminiscent of when Naruto went into the parallel universe and was talking with all the tailed beasts. It was just really cool, you know, being able to see the different characters and kind of get a little bit of their story and how things came to be and see their different quirks. And I thought it was cool that they tested Midoriya and he passed, because he truly is like a hero at heart. And they were like, are you prepared to kill Shigaraki if you have to. And he's like, I don't know. If I have to, yeah. A lot of the fights I've been in, I only fought because I had to. But if I can save him, I'm going to save him. And I'm like, yes, that's what's up. Like, I love that about him, you know? So it was cool hearing them talk about it. Also, like, dang, scary, sad that he might end up being the last user of One for All, and that the quirk essentially kills you if you were born with a quirk already. It kills you a lot faster, but if you weren't, then your cup's not full, and you can kind of grow it and master the overall quirk of One for All. But it's like, still, you're not guaranteed a long life. And I mean, I know for Uravity, I know that's their love story. They're gonna fall in love. I know it's gonna happen. I'm excited for when they do it. But it's like, what does that mean for his future, his children, and all that? So I don't know, man. It's just, it brings a lot of questions, brings a lot of things, but it was really cool to hear how the quirk worked, see the different users. But the thing that was interesting to me, it was like, yeah, that was happening. It was cool. But the thing that I wasn't expecting was that they literally told the heroes about One for All. All Might explained it to Hawks and Best Jeanist. And then Deku wrote a letter to all his classmates saying, this is my quirk, this is how I got it. And I was totally not expecting that, especially because when you think back on previous seasons, they were concerned that there was a leak within the academy, and that the people can't, like, there was somebody feeding the enemy information that was helping the enemy then infiltrate and try and destroy, right? So it was interesting to me that they were so loose with this information, and maybe they did that because the perception is that the bad guys already know that he has it, and so the good guys not knowing isn't helping the good guys, especially when the bad guys already know. So that might have been it, but it was just interesting to me. Then you go into episode 132. So as I predicted, he leaves the academy. He left the academy, but I thought he was going to leave it because he was trying to process something. He was going through some emotional thing, but it was actually because Deku is a hero, and he knew that Shigaraki is after him, and anybody around him is going to be killed because he's relentless. He's not going to stop until he kills Deku and takes his power. So he left in an effort to protect his friends and the people he cares for, and I'm like, that's what's up. And I thought it was cool though, because they showed that he's able to use other quirks, other parts of the quirks that he's activated. So he's got like a smoke screen, he's got danger sense, he's got the black whip, he's got the strength. And I'm curious to see what those other ones are. And this is just an extra little piece. So in episode 131, there were two previous users who were not engaging with the rest of the users. They were like off in the back, facing the wall, like they didn't agree with almost like they were prisoners inside of this realm. Like, we didn't even want to be users, and now we're here talking to this kid. So I'm curious when they will be engaged and what their quirks were. But so in 131, he ends up fighting that giant muscle dude that he fought in like season 2 or season 3, I can't remember. That he struggled and he had to give his all with. And then he ends up handling him like, yeah, you're not a problem for me. And it was like, yes, he is getting stronger. He is becoming One for All. And it's just super cool to see his development. Also, they added in and kind of alluded to this assassin that's going to be hunting him down, that is on All for One's team. So I knew somebody was trying to get him, and I'm curious how they're going to add him in. But this is what I wanted. Like the thing that hit me the most, and that was so like, man, for me, I can't. Yeah, it was either in 131, at the end of 131, or somewhere in 132. He was just thinking back on different moments. I believe it was 132, but his mom, man, I don't know if me being a dad now is like, it just makes me super sensitive to this, but I about cried when he was remembering, like, just thinking back on his past, and his mom, and his mom, All Might, and Deku, they were all talking while they were in the hospital. And she was just like, because they told her about the quirk and what it means and all that. And then she was remembering back, and he was remembering back when they were like playing and he was a kid, and she was like, oh, save me, save me. And he was like being a superhero. Man, I about cried. I'm getting emotional right now because it was so touching. And this is where I feel like My Hero Academia is surpassing all the other like new age anime. So I'll put another video up about this because this one's already getting lengthy. But man, it just makes me love the show so much more because the character development is insane in this show right now, and I'm loving it. So I am thrilled. I am thrilled to see what happens next, and I am going to spoil you guys with all of the information, especially for those people who don't get to see it. This is just a little highlight reel. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for enduring this video, and I will see you guys next time.
One thing I know is that I'm going up. It's the only